Everybody, this is episode 2 of Matt, aka Ghost, King Ghost, his documentary, episode 2. So let's dive into it. So, babe, who is Matt Wheeler?
Well, Matt Wheeler is my government name. Since I was young, I was being called Ghost. I went to prison. I got the name Capo, but if I had to put a stamp on who Matt Wheeler is right now, I'm just one of the ordinary guys that's trying to make it out here, trying to do something with his life. Come up, start, get a foundation. Really, my thing is to save the youth, bring people out the gangs. I've been in that gang life so long that's my mentality. So I really don't know who I am without it, but I'm starting to learn. So, I mean, Matt Wheeler right now is a person who goes to work, works his ass off, takes care of his family, tries to get ahead, just like any other normal American, true-blooded American that's doing it. Just because I did all that time and I got all these charges on me from the past, that don't make me. That's who they see Matt Wheeler is. That's why I ran from that person for a long time. But that's who I gotta be now. I gotta be Matt Wheeler. I gotta be a man. I gotta stand up and learn how to do everything there is to learn how to do out here. I didn't. It wasn't easy for me coming up. My mom had 4 kids and she worked her ass off too, and she did the best she could. And I mean, when I turned 13, I just seen that I was more of like a burden being there. It was harder for her to take care of me, and my brother left too, so it would be a lot easier for her to just take care of my sister. So I left and hit the streets and got up with my homeboys and my crew. And that's how I got started. Alright, so I know everybody's got jokes, but originally I'm from Beckley, West Virginia. That's where I was born. Beckley Regional Hospital. My mama drove up there, had me, and literally drove back down to Kannapolis, North Carolina, where I was raised. Well, I say I was raised in Kannapolis. Um, I was raised in Kannapolis. My grandma lived in Jackson Park when she was alive. We was a big family. Everybody stayed with my grandma. My grandma was the rock. Like all my uncles, I got 8 uncles. Everybody stayed there. Everybody took care of each other. Everybody made sure everything was good. I grew up with my cousins. I had a basically normal childhood until I was maybe 11 or 12. I met my other cousins on the other side of the family. And that's when all the gangs and all the getting money and all the negativity came in. But we're going to get to that.
Why do you want to do this documentary? Tell me why it's important to you to share your story.
I have to say, to share my story, I feel like I went to juvie when I was 13 to 16. I got out. I caught attempted murder at 17. I went back to prison until I was 29. So I want people to know like who I am, and I'm not just that guy. And really, this documentary ain't just for y'all. It's for me. It's for me to find myself too. Cause right now I really don't fully understand who I am without all the money and the gains and all the fame and all the respect. So that's why I'm trying to get to a point too that. Could you repeat the question?
Why do you want to do this documentary, and tell everybody why it's important to you to share your story?
I mean, I feel like my story, if I get my whole story out there how I want it in my head, I know it's going to save lives. It's going to change the youth. And that's my whole thing. I want to stop the youth from constantly going back in and out of juvie, getting on drugs, getting in the wrong situations, because that's all it is a choice. The environment you're putting in, you're a product of your environment. You know, Boosie is one of the people I look up to, and he'll tell you if you're in an environment where people selling drugs and they gang banging and they just out there cutting up, I mean, that's what you gonna do. Some people ain't got a choice. Some people wake up, go outside in the morning, and that's where they at. They ain't nothing but gangs, gang infested neighborhoods. Everybody don't got a choice. So, I want to get my story out there so people do have a choice. You walk outside your door, you either go kick it with the homies, or you go get on the bus to go to the library and learn something, or you go to school, or you could just chase your dream. You ain't never too old or too young to chase your dream. But once I get my full story out there, I know it's if I just change one life, I'm good with it. I got cousins that's on drugs, and I fear for them every day. That's another reason I want to do this. Maybe he'll see it and remember who he is. Um, I ain't gonna lie. I started a lot of stuff when I was young before I went to prison, and people ran with it. I had a powerful uh, charisma about me. People liked me. I could get people to do things that they probably didn't want to do. They just did it. You either gonna love me, hate me, or fear me. That was my mentality. Money, Mac, murder. That's. But trust me, when I get my story out there the way I want it, and once you learn who I am, then we can really start getting into it.
Alright, so how old were you when you first joined a gang?
Um, I think I was turned 14, and it was a neighborhood gang called KTP. My cousins was over it. They came and got me. It was my birthday. They took me to a little party. I didn't know what was going on. We got drunk. I think my mama gave me like $50 for my birthday. I ended up spending on liquor, drunk the liquor. My cousin Josh come in there and he was like, "You ready?" I was like, "Ready for what?" Cause they just started jumping me, and that's how I ended up with this tattoo right here. It says KTP. They tattooed on me the same night. Had to go and do a mission. Had to go beat somebody up that night to prove myself. And after that, I was part of KTP. That was the first official, unofficial gang. It was a neighborhood gang.
Alright, so do you want to talk about the first real gang you joined?
I mean, the first real gang I joined was, I ain't gonna say no names, but some dude that come down here from New York, and he was crippin'. And he met me, and we was coolin'. We was on the west side. We was chilling. His little brother was one of my main mans. His name was Fab. He started teaching us a little bit of things about the 6 Point Star, Queen Sheba, about the history, about the oppression in Chicago, about everything that was going on, about how society is doing us, why we keep going back and forth to juvie, and we all became Crip. I mean, we really weren't supposed to be Crip. I'm mixed. I could be Crip. But that shit got so big. I went to training school not too long after that. And that's when I really realized, like, how big the gang thing was. Because when I got there, I'm 70 pounds. So I'm coming into this training school claiming Crip. So now, instead of just being my homeboys around me that's accepting me, I got a whole bunch of other Crips that's like, "Yo, how you Crip? You gotta prove yourself." Like, so I fought a lot. I fought for that because that's the only thing I had, so I held on to it.
Well, I don't want to interrupt you, but what training school exactly are you talking about?
First training school I went to, I'm speaking about Swananoa. It wasn't Swananoa then, it was JEC. It was called JEC. It turned into Swananoa Training School, and it's in Asheville, Black Mountain. It's a women's prison now. It's not even a juvenile facility no more. But we'll get into that. Like, that was a chunk of my life. That was 3 years of my life. I got some pictures I'll show y'all.
Yeah, we'll put some pictures, in the video.
Yeah.
So is there any other training schools that you went to?
Yeah, I went to training school twice. The first time they sent me to Jackson Training School, but they told me I was too close to home, so they transferred to Swannanoa. That was the first time. I got out of training school finally after, I think it was like 13 months the first time I did. I kept getting in fights, so I stretched the 6 month sentence out to 13.
Why did you go to training school?
But that's a whole nother story. Like I said, I was in KTP, the gang that my cousin created. We didn't have no money. We had no way to eat. They jumped the guy. Him and my other cousin took the money from him. Got us some food. We busted the money down. They got caught and went to jail. So now it's on us to get them out. So we started kicking in doors. Like, we did some breaking and enterings to get the money to get them out of jail. Ended up getting caught for that, so I got a breaking and entering. I had assault on a government official from school. Teacher tried to pull my pants up, and I assaulted him. But that's the main reason I went to training school. The first time was for a breaking and entering charge. They gave me 6 months to my 18th birthday, and I got out from Swannanoa, I think 2003. I went back 2004. This time they sent me to Dillon. They switched the process. It was you had to go to Dillon Assessment Center to make sure that your mind was right, you weren't crazy, laws was changing, people was protesting, they were trying to get youth rights, and so I went to Dillon. And that was one of the wildest training schools I've been at, because you got, wasn't nothing but gangs. The staff there was young. They used to make you fight. Hell, I fought one of the staff members. That's how it was there. Got in a fight in the chow hall because there was a dude that was a different gang than I was, and he threw up the wrong set in the chow hall. So me and all my homeboys just rushed their table. And that was the other training school I went to. I've been to Jackson Training School, Swannanoa, Dillon, and them were the 3 training schools I went to. Then I've been to Taylorsville Detention Center 3 times, Gaston County Detention Center 17 times.
So, going to training school, how did that affect you?
I mean, to be honest, going to Swannanoa, like I said, I was a kid, but I hung out with grown people. I had a big heart. I wasn't scared of nothing. And that's not like trying to make myself look big. It's just, I was so stupid. I wasn't scared of nothing. So, I mean, it taught me a lot. I got around some people, some good people, and some bad people. I kind of grew up a little bit in training school. They make you go to school. They make you really figure out who you are. You got a counselor, and they make you go there, and you learn. I taught myself how to read in training school. I taught myself everything in training school, because before out here, I just wasn't doing it. I didn't care about nothing but smoking weed, drinking, and selling pills. Like, I got hooked on methadone without even knowing I was hooked on methadone. Me and my homeboy, his daddy used to get these pills, methadone. We go pick them up. We sell like 300 of them, keep the other 60. And I was just doing it because they was doing it. I didn't know how I was hooked on it until I got to training school, and I felt like my whole body was breaking. I couldn't eat, and I'm throwing up, I'm crying. And finally, they figured out, they did some blood tests, and they was like, well, you got methadone in your system. Like, I didn't know you get hooked on a drug. I didn't know nothing about that. I was just having fun. I'm 13 years old. So, training school, that's going to take a little bit longer to speak about. I mean, it's traumatizing. Every day you wake up, you got to go to this room. They call it a bin room to get your shoes, to get your clothes. That's where you keep your radio. That's where you're allowed to have a radio. And you got to fight. Like I say, out of 7 days, I fought 3 days out the week for my first 3 or 4 months. When I first got there, I got jumped. Got jumped a couple times. That's what happens in the training schools. The staff don't care. They're there just for a paycheck. It's one staff, and you got 30 kids in one little block. So they don't care. They're young too. They're fresh out of college. So they don't know what's going on. People got jumped all the time. Luckily, there wasn't no stabbings at the time going on like in training school. I didn't go through that till prison. You just fought. So basically, I learned how to fight. After I learned how to fight, and I got my respect, training school got a little bit funner.
So, do you feel like it helped you at all?
I mean, as far as making me grow up and learning survival tactics, yeah, it helped me. It helped me learn how to manipulate people. It helped me learn how to get what I want. It showed me that violence could make anybody do anything. Fear is the greatest destroyer. So is hope. So, you know, survival is what any person will do. Even if it means, like, for giving away your pleasure and accept the pain to survive, you're going to do it.
Alright, so this is like a 2-in-1 kind of question. Okay, do you have any regrets, and would you take it all back if you could, going to training school?
I would take back what I did to go to training school, because the B&E I got was a girl that I didn't go to school with her, but my friends did. I didn't know it was her house. The girl I was with, she said, let's go in this house, but I wouldn't take training school back. It made me who I am. It made me exactly who I am. I went there for a reason, and it's going to come. I was born to be more. I was born to be great. I was born for a cause. And all the pain I went through is for a reason. And I'm going to change this world. Even if I just change it a little bit at a time. I might not put a hole in it, but I'm going to put a fucking dent in it.
Yeah, so we're going to get more into each and every topic that we talked about today. But I do have one last question for you. What would you tell the kids or any teenagers or anybody that's listening right now? What would you tell them about everything that we've talked about as far as prison, juvie, training school, drugs? What would you tell them?
To the youth out there, when I say youth, I don't just mean youth like 12 and 11. I mean youth. You could be youth from 18 down. Like, they try you as an adult still. I'll tell you got a choice. It's not too late. Like, you could be whatever you want to be. All you got to do is just stay disciplined. Figure out what you want early in life. That's why I made my mistake. I couldn't figure out what I wanted in life until now. Like, You just gotta love yourself. You gotta take the hard times and make them what you want them. Everybody suffers. You gotta make your suffering your own. Like what you're going through, it's not just you. It's not your fault. Everybody goes through it. Some people go through more, but we're gonna change that. I would speak to any youth, any child, any man, any woman, any race, anything. The knowledge I got that I've learned, I'm gonna pass on. That's what I feel like I was meant to do, and it's gonna change you. It changed me. When we really get into it, like really, really get into it, you'll see what I'm saying.
So your inbox is open to anybody if they need advice.
My inbox is always open. I speak to young men and young ladies every day who's telling me they're having problems with their parents or the parents is on drugs. They ask me what did I should they're being bullied at school, what do I need to do. Like my inbox is open. I'm here. Like I told myself when I was young I was gonna be a gang counselor when I got out of training school. That's what I really want to do. I want to help. I want to make a change. I'm going to make a change. Yeah, I could rap. I should have been famous when I was 17. But, you know, I just felt like I got a greater calling. Might do a little bit of music. My brother died behind it. We'll get into that. But for the youth, that's what I'm here for. I'm all about the youth. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to feel empty. I know what it's like to feel like you have no other choice but to go along with what's going on. And I'm going to show you how to change that. Alright, so I know this was real serious. It won't always be like this. We'll get into cutting up. But I want to thank everybody for who tuned in. And we ain't going to stop. We're going to keep pushing. It's going to drop every Monday, 9 o'clock. We're going to get into it more and more and more. Right now, we're just touching the surface. Give me some questions. Give me some topics. If you're a parent and you're having trouble with your kids and you don't understand why she's doing certain things, I can tell you. I've been there. There's nothing I ain't did. There's nothing I ain't known. I was raised around monsters, killers, and gorillas. But thank y'all for watching. Come follow me. Hit that subscribe button. Each one teach one. Let's build together.